Welcome to the second episode of Am I the Arsehole, but in a Christian perspective. I'm not going to do a super long intro, I'll just jump straight into the stories, and I won't read the title straight away, I'll just jump straight into it. Just write down in the comments what you think of these stories, what your thoughts are, and what other stories what other Reddit posts or groups that you want me to, talk about. So, would I be the asshole if I move out of our apartment knowing my fiance and his mum can't afford it without me? Throw away because my fiance follows my main. It's a bit sly to be doing that. I don't think people should do that. Like, if you've got an issue, you should be talking to your partner. But let's see what the story says. So, me, female 29, and my ex-fiance, male 27, have been living together for about 1.5 years. Fiance got his undergraduate degree, worked for a couple of years, and then decided to get an MBA. I don't know what MBA means. I'll probably figure it out later, which is how he ended up in our city. We moved in together after he finished his MBA program, and fiance is from the Midwest, and his mum has always wanted him to move back. When he told her he was staying here, she was heartbroken. Okay, that's understandable. A parent getting heartbroken that their kid isn't able to move back, or won't move back, I should say. I went to college and got my degree in a STEM field. After I graduated, I got a job with my current company and moved to the city where we currently live. It's a big international company with multiple locations in the US and international. I love my job. I like the company I work for, and the pay is pretty good. In all, a pretty good deal. During COVID, my office shut down and we all went work from home. After COVID, they decided not to reopen this office, so I've been 100% work from home since early 2020. I currently make considerably more than him, mainly because I've been working for 7 years in tech. That would make a lot of money. I understandable there. I had been living by myself in a one-bedroom apartment and just had my office set up in the living room since it was just me. When we moved in together, we decided to get a 2-bedroom apartment so I could use the extra room as an office. Because of this, I was paying 2/3 of the rent and he paid 1/3. We split everything else 50-50. So the problem started this past May. Fiance's mum told him she wanted to move to our city to be closer to him. She asked if she could stay with us while she looked for a job and got settled. She's a teacher, so figured she'd be able to get a teaching job pretty quickly. Because of that, I didn't really mind her staying with us, as I figured it would just be for a couple of months over the summer. So since I thought it would only be for a couple of months, I moved my office into a corner of our bedroom, and fiance bought a bed to put in the second bedroom. The problem is she never applied for any teaching positions and has been living with us for 6 months now. She's using you. Straight away. Using you. If she's not looking for something, for 6 months, and she's wanting to live there and stuff like that, she's using you. If she's not being bothered, she's definitely using you. And I'm assuming that this is in America, which means, that they don't really have, they have payments and stuff, but it's hard apparently to get on the payments. So I'm going to say she's using straight away. She and I have been really have been struggling with each other since she moved in. I can't make her understand that I work full time. She constantly interrupts while I'm working, which is bad enough, but she even interrupts when I'm on team calls. She always asks me to take her places because she doesn't like to drive in our city. She has pretty outdated views of gender roles and is constantly giving me a hard time for not doing more around the house and making my fiance help with chores, doing his own laundry, etc. The constant criticism and insults are just really wearing me down, and I hate having my office shoved in a corner of the bedroom. Back in September, I told my fiance that since it looks like his mum is going to stay a while, we should split the rent 3 ways. He told me she can't afford that since she has to conserve money until she gets a job. I told him I wasn't happy paying extra for a bedroom I can't use. So finally he said we could do a 50-50 split. I could afford to pay the extra, but I hate the idea of funding her lifestyle. Every time I complain about her or the situation, he says he agrees but doesn't know what to do because he can't kick out his mum. And he won't talk to her about the way she treats me or how she behaves. When I ask what the long-term plan is, he just says he doesn't know. I thought about giving him an ultimatum to tell her she has to leave, but I think he'd just end up resenting me for essentially putting his mum on the street. So one of my girlfriends is losing her roommate at the end of February. Our lease renews June 1st. I'm very strongly considering moving out of our current apartment and moving in with her. I can afford to pay my rent, part of the rent on our current apartment, and also half the rent of my friend's apartment. It's not ideal, but I'm not a big spender, so it's doable. The issue is, if he and his mum aren't able to pay 1/3 the rent each, there is now no way they could cover the whole thing on their own. But I can't live like this anymore. So I'm pretty sure this is what I'll do, but I wanted to see if people thought I'd be the asshole for leaving them like this. Like last episode, talk to the person that you're having, issues with. Don't just, do things out of spite. And I've actually got, I've actually got Bible references that I can use. I don't know if they're going to be exactly for this situation, but I've got Philippians 2:4 here, and it says here, everyone should look not to his own interests, meaning male or female, but rather to the interests of others, meaning that don't just do this out of spite. Of how I'm interpreting, don't do it out of spite. Actually help the other person get a job. Help, don't just sit there and go, oh, this person needs to do this, and then not help them do it. Like, you should be caring about other people. I mean, you can do it if you want. Everyone has free will to do whatever they want. But I myself wouldn't do it because, yes, it's annoying, but I don't think I ever actually read in, I understand she wants the mum to pay rent and she spoke to her husband and stuff, or her fiance and stuff like that. But also talk to the mum. Say, hey, I want you to look for a job. I want you to actually start applying for jobs, all that kind of stuff. But obviously that's not going to, that hasn't happened. Let's see what the comments say. So not the arsehole. He's, that's on best. So I'm going to go to the top comments because usually that, is better. So not the arsehole. His mum is the biggest A because she specifically planned this. It isn't that she's had bad luck. She didn't even apply. Yes, as I said, she wasn't applying, but she wasn't talking to the mum about applying. Neither, I'm guessing, the fiance was either. She, always talk. You could simply just tell the mum, look for jobs, apply for jobs, not just go, oh, she hasn't done it. But you haven't told her. You haven't kicked her in the ass for doing it, for looking for jobs. I've noticed people don't look further than what they're saying. They're just I'm going through this situation, but they're not seeing the other side. They're not talking to the other person. Add in that she didn't respect your workplace and insults you. She's basically trying to be the matriarch of the house while being a complete mooch. The biggest problem is your fiance, though. This is just a glimpse of your future with the mama's boy. He's made it clear that he's okay with her walking all over you and she's not leaving. You're going to end up as a third wheel in your own marriage. Okay, I agree with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I totally agree with that. Stop being a mum's boy. As simple as that. So we're only gonna look at one, I guess for these episodes, one comment, and then we'll move on to the next, one of the top comments, and then we'll move on to the next story. So, am I the asshole? I don't know what the H actually stands for, but anyway, for humiliating my friend after he kept bragging about his IQ. This one's a bit of a shorter story, but I do have a piece of scripture to use for this. So I have a friend, let's call him Brian. I'm assuming that's not his actual name for privacy purposes, who won't shut up about his IQ. Just because someone has an IQ doesn't mean it makes them the most, well, it would make them the smartest person in the world, but there's certain things that, like, even if they had the highest IQ, it doesn't mean they're smart in other areas. Like, yeah, it just doesn't mean you're always the smarter. Like, you might have a higher IQ than someone, but someone might be more intelligent in this area than that person, who has the higher IQ. And they might be more intelligent in one certain area than that, well, definitely more intelligent in that area than that, lower IQ person. So ever since he took some online tests that said he got 131, is it paid or not? That's the big question. He's been acting like he's the second coming of Einstein. At first, it was just kind of annoying. He dropped random fun facts about how high IQ people process information differently. He started using words like erudite. I'm assuming that's how you say that. Obfuscate, and obfuscate in normal conversations. But then it got worse. He started low-key insulting us. He told our friend Emily, who's in med school, that doctors are just good at memorization, not real intelligence. Is that why they got their doctorate? He told me I was wasting potential because I work in marketing instead of something more intellectually rigorous. Dude works in IT, at a help desk. Anyway, last week we were at a party and he started talking about IQ again. Someone jokingly asked, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? Very good question, actually. And Brian, completely serious, goes, well, intelligence isn't always about wealth. It's about how you process the world. Low IQ people can never truly grasp how limiting their perception is. So I looked him dead in the eye and said, damn, bro, that's crazy. What's it like having a high IQ and still losing a fantasy football every year? The room exploded. Brian turned red, mumbled something about variance and sample sizes, and left the party early. Now he's barely texting in the group chat, and a mutual friend told me I embarrassed him too much. And now, naturally, half the group has been testing their IQs and just a mess with him. Someone dropped this 10-minute Cerebrum IQ test in the chat, and it's become a full-blown competition. If Brian was really a genius, you'd think he'd take it again and prove us all wrong. But nah, suddenly he's not a fan of online tests anymore. Am I the arsehole for finally saying something, or do we have it coming? Okay, I want to say that in this situation, yes, you lost your cool, but there was no need to. You could have said something like a little nicer. Yeah, there's definitely no need to make fun of other people, whether they're below average IQ or average IQ or, more intelligent. I just think, yeah, it wasn't called for. And what does fantasy football, got to do with intelligence? Fantasy football would just be, a guessing game essentially. Like, I mean, you look at statistics and stuff, but who said that player or that person's not going to, be different the following year or the same year that you're, trying to bet, etc. I'm just going to say, yes, this person was an asshole for doing it. It wasn't called for. That's just my opinion. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. Everyone else might, might say different, but I definitely got a scripture for it, and that's Ephesians 4:2-9. There was no foul language, said, but no foul language should come from your mouth, but only what is good for building up someone in need, so that it gives grace to those who hear. So that's essentially, don't just, make fun of someone. You can tell them, hey, dude, I don't find it okay to keep repeating, I'm so smart, which is a prideful thing to say, by the way, to say all the time, I'm so smart. When a smarter person would not generally, say it all the time. Yeah. So, moving on to the comments. As I said, we're going to read just the top comments, see what the top comment is. So while that's loading, someone says, "Brother, you know you're not the asshole. You just wanted to share that burn." Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that comment because it wasn't really helpful. So top 1% commenter. Those 10-minute online tests always crank out 131 to get people to buy the full test. It's literally a scam. Someone with 131 IQ should be able to see through. 100%. 100%. Sorry, I paused to read the second comment below. Sorry, guys. OP's friends never saw the King of the Hill episode where Peggy emptied the savings account to buy her doctorate title. An online IQ test said she was a genius. Okay, fair enough. So we're going to move on to, I'm going to say arsehole and also sort of an arsehole. So moving on to the next story. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my husband after finding out he's been secretly giving his sister money? I don't know what to think of this story, but we'll jump straight into it. I, 32 female, just found out that my husband, 34 male, has been secretly sending money to his older sister, 38 female, for years, and I lost it. I need to know if I went too far. For a start, why was he sending money, and why was he not telling you about sending money? A little background. His sister has always been a bit of a mess financially. Okay, so why would it not be okay to send money? Interesting. She doesn't manage her money well, constantly complains about being broke, and always has some excuse as to why she can't cover her expenses. I've always suspected that she was bad with money, but I had no idea just how deep this went. Recently, I started noticing that our savings weren't growing as they should have been. We make good money and I handle most of our finances, so it didn't make sense. My husband has his own bank account for his personal spending, so I don't micromanage it. But something felt off. I finally got my answer when I overheard a phone call between him and his sister. She was crying, fake crying in my opinion, about how she was short on rent and desperately needed help. My husband, being the big-hearted guy he is, told her he'd send her the money right away. That's when I checked his transactions and saw that he'd been sending her hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars every month. Every few months, sorry. This wasn't just a one-time thing, it was a pattern. The worst part, the same day he sends her money, she posted pictures on social media flaunting a brand new designer bag. There we go. So, no, you're not the arsehole straight away. I'm going to, jump to a conclusion right there, but I'm going to continue reading. And eating at some fancy restaurant with her friends. I scrolled back and realized this wasn't the first time. Every time she cried to him about being broke, she was posting about some shopping spree or night out right after. I confronted my husband and we had the biggest fight we'd ever had in our marriage. He kept insisting that she really needs help and that family takes care of each other, quotation marks. I told him he's not helping her, he's enabling her. I was furious that he was giving away our money to someone who was blatantly using him as a piggy bank. I asked him point blank if he had ever gotten a single dollar back. He admitted she'd never repaid him, despite constantly promising she would. That's when I lost it and told him that if he wants to keep throwing away his money throwing money at his sister's lifestyle. Sorry, people, I'm fussy about English. He can do it without me. Now he's upset, saying I'm being heartless and that it's just money. But it's our money. Well, they are married, so it is their money. And I feel completely betrayed that he's been keeping this from me. His sister, of course, is now playing the victim, saying I'm cruel for coming between family. Quotation marks. So, am I the asshole? I'm going to say no straight away. Yes, we should be able to give money to the people in need, but this woman, this sister, is not in need. If she was actually in need of rent, like she was saying it was rent, which obviously she's lying about. Maybe it was, but she was also buying other stuff as well. Or she was saying in her own head, but wasn't obviously telling them. Maybe she was like in her own head saying, "Oh, I I need more money to get a bag. I can't spend my money on rent. If I do, then I don't have rent money because I'm going to be spending on a bag. So essentially saying what she said, I don't have rent money or whatever. So definitely the arsehole. So we're going to read some scripture here. James 1, 19 to 20. I think that was the correct Bible scripture. So, my dear brothers and sisters, understand this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For human anger does not accomplish God's righteousness. I don't know why I picked that Bible verse. I just did. But now that, I picked these Bible verses before I read the story, so I kind of, jumped to conclusion. I did, I'm not going to lie, use ChatGPT to help me find Bible verses to use in situations like this. I'm not the best at just picking, Bible verses. So I don't know why ChatGPT picked that Bible verse. But I'm going to say this person is an asshole. The sister, sorry, she's not an asshole. The sister is, for using the brother. But we're going to read the top comments of this story. So, not the asshole. She is milking your husband for money, and he does not realize it, and keeping it a secret is also a big red flag. Yes. So, next comment. I'm just so mad at him for keeping it a secret and not telling me, and also that he doesn't realize that she's milking him. We compared bank statements, and every time he sends her money, the same day or latest, the day after, she is posting some pics of new outfits, new bags, and from going out to fancy restaurants with friends. I just don't understand how he can be that blind. I would just, I don't know how I would deal with it. I definitely would say that you're not the asshole for dealing it with, this way. How would you be an asshole for saying don't give money to your sister when she's not spending for the right reasons, especially when she's lying about it? But if you like the video, please comment down below what you thought of it, what you thought of these stories, I should say, what other Reddits I should look at. Other than that, I thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.